Hello, how's it going? Welcome back to some more F1 23 and another part of the Immersive Driver Career Mode with Alfa Romeo. And today we are back with the Imola Grand Prix, Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix, of course, which was cancelled in real life, unfortunately. One of my favourite tracks. I always talk about it when we get to this point, but I've walked the track in real life. Went on a Ferrari simulator at the track. It was an awesome day. Back when Imola wasn't even on the calendar anymore, so it's always been a special track for me, and I'm looking forward to getting into it again. In terms of the facilities, not entirely sure what's going on with it particularly. You know, we can't go into any of this, but we've got 3 Spec 2 facilities and a Spec 1 on the powertrain. It would be nice if we can upgrade those, but we'll keep an eye on that as time goes on. R&D wise, we have got 3 upgrades in the pipeline. One of them, the durability for the MGUK, has failed, so hopefully we can get that sorted out soon. You can see we have unlocked other upgrades, and hopefully we can get those on the car soon. We have got 2,000 resource points that we are able to spend, so fingers crossed we can get that done. We are going to swap out some of our units. The MGUH is a bit worse for wear, so we are going to swap that out for our second component. Everything else is looking okay for now. I don't think we should have to change any of these, although the ICE is starting to get a little worn, but we'll just keep an eye on that throughout the weekend. But yeah, last time out, of course, we had the glitch. I am going to check that out. Yeah, we did finish 11th. It was a pretty intense end to the last Grand Prix. I know you really enjoyed that, but we had a glitch that took us into 10th. We did have the fastest lap as well, so that got us an extra 2 points. I'm not going to complain too much about that. Hopefully it doesn't happen again, though. But yeah, let's advance on. See if we can get this cable assembly.
Developments to come through, but some of them have failed.
It looks like
we'll need to tell a team what to redevelop via the R&D screen.
Looks like the cable assembly did come through, and you know, now in a bit of a better position. And looking at that, we've got a major aerodynamic upgrade coming in as well for the Halo for the 29th of May. So that's going to be good. We've got a chassis department event. The time spent in the simulators was worth it. Thank you for your help. Wonderful. Okay, right. Let's keep going then. See what else we can pick up.
Okay, we've had the new parts come through.
Successfully complete 12 R&D upgrades. Okay, nice. Yeah, another little bit of performance, and can't worry too much about that. And hopefully our upgrade will get us up into that midfield fight with Alpine and McLaren. I think myself and Bottas are definitely, you know, fighting the car nicely at the moment, but obviously we've got to try and find a little bit more if we want more of these points. But yeah, Imola, lovely, beautiful track, and of course very historic. Lots of things have happened at Imola in the past, and looks like it's going to be a nice dry weekend, which will mean that we can give the car everything. So looking forward to that, and I'll see you guys for qualifying. Let's see what we can do this weekend. Welcome along then to qualifying for the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix here at Imola. Pace in practice was good. Obviously, it was raining in P1, so not exactly the most representative stuff, but car feels good. Feels very responsive. I think some of the upgrades have done a good job. And hopefully we'll be able to go out there and give it our best shot, give it our everything, get some more Q3 qualifying positions. That would be absolutely fabulous. So yeah, just a quick look at our car setup this weekend. You can have a little look at it to your own leisure. Move the brake bias up a little bit. Going to move our fuel all the way down, and hopefully we can have a good lap. So let's see how we get on in qualifying. Right, here we come round the final couple of corners then. Just got to be careful not to track extend out of the final 2 corners. And here we go then, up to the line. What's it going to be? It's a 1:16.3, which puts us P4 at the moment, a purple final sector. That's quite an unbelievable lap there. Didn't feel that special as we were making our way through, but wow. I mean, if that is what we can produce, then sky's the limit this weekend. You can see that Bottas is up there as well, just 3/10 behind us, and all of those came in the final sector, really. 4/10 found there. We are going to stay in, we're going to risk it, I suppose, but don't think it was too much of a risk, to be fair. Let's have a little look. Yeah, 11th and 12th. That's not bad from a first run, is it? Perez quickest there. And go now in Q1 then. Magnussen, Albon, Hulkenberg, Logan Sargent and Nick de Vries. A bit of bad news, folks. It has actually started raining out there, and we were waiting in the garage just a couple of minutes before getting out there. I didn't want to, you know, get out there while it was busy, but that could cost us, because we're going to be, I think, the final car over the line to put a lap in, so maybe not going to give this absolutely everything, but we'll see. And you can see that rain coming down. How are we doing? Well, 2/10 off Lance Stroll, so it's not a great first sector. We know the final sector is where our pace is at, but we're going to have to go for it a little bit through this middle sector now. A little bit too much turn in there. There was a little bit more time on the table. Risking it all into this corner, and we know could have quite easily found track limits there. But we are a long way off where we should be. Can the final sector save us? They're into the 1:16.5s. I just don't think we've got that in us as we come round the final corner. We come up to the line, and it's a 17 flat. We can probably manage a second timed lap here. Well, that's 11th place at the moment, but it's behind our teammate, and we know we could have done better. And there you go, track extension there. Right, well, we're going to come back into the pits. Hopefully the rain stops and we can give ourselves a better chance later on. But, yeah, I mean, let's give it to the end of the session, and fingers crossed we will find the weather has eased up a little bit. Trying to see, is there rain out there? I think it is still raining. I don't think we're going to have enough here. But we're 11th as it stands. Fernando Alonso currently out of qualifying. What are the best tyres? Is it? Yeah, intermediates are slightly quicker. So I don't think we're going to get another time in there. It's still raining out there. So I think that's it. I think that's it for qualifying. You can see very clearly it's too rainy, and, well, timing of our lap not the best, and we're going to be qualifying 11th for this Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix. How annoying. There you go, out in Q2 along with Fernando Alonso. Carlos Sainz in the Ferrari as well, caught out, and both Alpines of Ocon and Pierre Gasly. Let's see how we get on in the race tomorrow.
This race has gone by several former names: the Italian Grand Prix, the San Marino Grand Prix, and now the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix. It's race day. We're at Imola. Welcome. 3.1 miles of track at Imola featuring 19 turns, 9 to the right and 10 to the left. Remember that Imola differs from most other Formula One tracks as it's taken anti-clockwise. Let's hope nobody forgets that today. The exit from turn 18 will probably be the setup for many of today's overtakes, leading as it does into the longest straight on the circuit and its only DRS zone. It's time to take a look at our starting grid for today's race. Sergio Perez will lead us away from pole position, and Max Verstappen lines up alongside. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Leclerc, Russell, Hamilton, Norris, Bottas, Stroll, Oscar Piastri, Tsunoda, the captain, Fernando Alonso, Sainz, Ocon, Gasly, Magnussen, Albon, Hulkenberg, De Vries and Logan Sargent. With preparations almost complete, let's head down to the track. I'm joined again today by none other than Anthony Davidson. Tell me, Ant, obviously there's a lot of development work that goes on with these cars between the Grand Prix. You've been both a test driver and a race driver. What differences are there in the way that you approach those roles?
Yeah, it's an interesting question. They're two very different mindsets. In the old days, of course, they used to cover up to 15,000 kilometres of testing in a season, and that role would be more about working for the team, trying to help them improve the car and drive as systematically as possible, so that the data could be analysed in the most consistent way. When lining up on the grid for a race, however, a race driver's frame of mind is all about what they can get out of the situation on that day, and the car is the tool to help them achieve those goals.
Okay then, here we are down on track.
Okay, this is our engine supplier's home Grand Prix, which means there's a lot of very important people here behind the scenes. I'd love to give them a strong result to watch today, plus a good result might make my post-race meetings a little bit easier.
Very, very good. I love it, Mark. We are going to actually go for mediums then softs in this race. I think we have found in this series so far that we want to be on that softer rubber towards the end of the Grand Prix. Could potentially just eke out the mediums a lap longer, have fresher tyres towards the end. I think that's definitely the approach you want to go for. Two-stopper is doable round here. Again, it's, I think, a little unlikely to work because of how difficult it is to overtake. But you could do a two-stop around here and have fresh tyres all the way. But Bottas up in P7. I mean, this could be a really awesome Grand Prix for us and a double points finish. And fingers crossed we can do that for the team and get another good start.
Launch map is good, but we need to learn the gears. So go into each one when you can. We're going to need some work on the brakes, so put some energy into them and warm the tyres as well, please.
I feel like that's certainly something that we're going to need to be on top of today is tyre temperatures, make sure they're staying low. We've got very low tyre pressures, and I think that's always something you need going into race day. Make sure that these tyres are as...
Okay, radar is clear, weather is looking good for now.
Not sensitive, resistant, I suppose, to temperature as possible. That's what we want. And it's a lovely warm day here in Imola, and I think it's going to be an absolutely cracking race. I think there's going to be incidents. It's a tight and twisty track, very high speed in certain sections as well, and of course lots of points on the line for a fairly unfamiliar grid, you know, a bit of a mixed up. Certainly from P7 down, Lando Norris and Piastri both in the top 10 for McLaren. That's pretty huge for them. Bottas up in 7th for us. We could easily jump Tsunoda on the first lap, and I did manage to turn down the difficulty for the race today, so we're back down to 92 for race day. 98, of course, in qualifying. So we'll see how that works out for us today. But here we go. Lining up on the grid, and it's a tricky one today. Do we want to be to that left-hand side? I suppose we probably do. And that'll give us the inside line into turn 1. So, yeah, we're going to line up facing the left there. And that's a good
Okay,
park.
incredible parking there. Nice one. That's going to give you the edge if you can get a good launch as the race starts.
So here we go then, ready for the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix. It's lights out, away we go, and it's a terrific launch off the grid once again for us. And we slip it straight into overtake mode and try and get past Oscar Piastri. As we head towards turn 1, it's going to get very, very tight. And we just try and stay out of the action, but we stay in, or get up to 10th place, I should say, at the start of this Grand Prix. We jump Yuki Tsunoda, didn't quite manage to get past Oscar Piastri. Of course, some people will be on the softer tyre compound at the start of this race. I think we're going to be on one of the weirder strategies. People are going to be going medium hard just to keep that tyre wear down to a minimum, but we're going to go medium soft and really try and attack this race, and particularly towards the end. So it's important for us to stay with these guys so that we've got that advantage come the end of the Grand Prix. We need to make sure that we have no damage on the car as well, and make sure we're not track extending too much. That's a big one.
The start was fine. Let's try and move forward.
And it was an okay start. It was a good launch off the grid anyway, and you know, certainly managed to put Piastri under pressure, but it gets so tight into turn 1. It wasn't worth lunging and risking everything when realistically we can get past Piastri on track. I think we have got the pace in which to do that. So, good start to this Grand Prix. Lewis Hamilton already trying to make a move on Lance Stroll. This could get tasty into turn 1. We're just going to back out a little bit. There's contact between Lewis Hamilton and Lance Stroll, and now we've got a possible chance on Oscar Piastri here, but we back out of it, and yeah, just a little nervous. Don't want to lose a front wing at this early stage, but Lance Stroll definitely a cork in the bottle here. Hamilton's managed to clear him, but there was definitely contact through that first corner, and I wonder if Stroll will have a little bit of damage to that front wing, and he is on hard tyres as well, so that's possibly why his traction out of corners ain't so good, and he'll definitely be going softs towards the end of the Grand Prix, you feel, and maybe a chance to put Piastri under some pressure here. Just need to plan this effectively. It's always tricky because you just want to get in front, but it's not always the best solution. Sometimes it's best to just stay back and plan where Piastri is struggling, and certainly up that hill seems to be a place that we could get a bit of leverage.
DRS will be enabled this lap. You can use it when you're within 1 second of the car ahead and in the DRS zone.
Well, there's contact again between these two. Stroll definitely not giving up his position here. Oh my goodness me. Wow, Stroll came right across the front of us there. That could have been hairy. We managed to get in front of Piastri though, but wow, Stroll came right across us. We had all the momentum there. We would have had an airplane crash really had we kept our foot to the floor. Meanwhile, Valtteri Bottas, I think, is up to 5th at the moment, and he's a bit of a cork in the bottle for Lando Norris, and Lewis Hamilton is right up behind them as well. So this is a really interesting start to this Grand Prix, and I think with Bottas where he is, that's only going to help us. And DRS, of course, enabled this lap, which could create a bit of a DRS train if we can't get ourselves through on Lance Stroll soon. But a very, very impressive start to this Grand Prix in terms of excitement, and I'm loving it so far. But here we go. This is going to be a chance on Lance Stroll. Got DRS open, got ERS enabled,
Keep it up.
and this should be an easy overtake for Lance Stroll, but he hasn't let the position go easily the last couple of laps, and there's been contact, but no such thing with us. We get the move done straight away, and now it's about trying to get into that 1 second window of Lewis Hamilton so that we do not get swamped by Stroll and potentially Sainz and Tsunoda as well. But up to P8, Bottas currently P6. While Hamilton is having a little look at Bottas up the hill. This would be an intense move round the outside of the chicane, and it's possibly left us a chance here, and we're going to fly past Lewis Hamilton. And he tried to get past one Alfa Romeo. He's lost a position to the other one. He makes a little bit of contact there, but we're through. And that was a good move. Now, the question is, does Bottas have DRS? Yes, he does. Use a little bit of ERS to stay with Bottas here. I think staying back is going to be the way to go. Oh, Bottas a little slide out of there. We have definitely got more pace than him at this stage of the Grand Prix, and I'll tell you what, Lewis Hamilton will be absolutely devastated that he's now caught behind both of us, because he should have been past Bottas. Just, I think, a little bit too risky. Up the hill, round the outside. He was never really going to get that move completed there without making big contact, and then lost the momentum down the hill to us. And obviously now we've got DRS, and it's going to be difficult for Hamilton. But I would expect that he's going to get past Bottas after us, and then probably will get back past us as well. Oh, we've got great momentum on Valtteri Bottas here. A little bit of grass on our tyres, that was just not worth it. Especially because it's Bottas. You know, we want him to get points as well, but it's good racing so far. Well, this time Bottas does not have DRS. This is going to be a great chance now on Valtteri Bottas. We love the inside line, but he just covers it and, well, gives himself a little bit to do. Not the first couple of corners, but defending well. You feel like this would be the position they'd use a bit of team orders and say, look, Valtteri, Joe's faster than you, let him past. Because Hamilton's right behind us as well. We definitely have more pace than Bottas at this phase of the Grand Prix. Yeah, I would think this will be the time we get past Bottas, because we're right in his gearbox, and DRS is obviously going to be enabled here. So here we go. DRS enabled, ERS on. And we are through on our teammate Valtteri Bottas, and up into 6th place in this Grand Prix. Very good showing for Alfa so far. That's exactly what we want to see, but I tell you what, who else is involved? Lewis Hamilton is there on our inside. Oh, we managed to hold him off. I don't know how he managed to get past Bottas as well on that same straight. But wow, I just noticed him in the mirrors and realised we needed to leave him some space, because otherwise there was going to be contact there. Well, join me on lap 10. We've just about caught up to Lando Norris in front, which is pretty important for us and our race. Bottas has just lost out to Carlos Sainz. Lewis Hamilton still very much chasing us, but we seem to be able to get better momentum.
Okay, be aware,
out of that final corner.
Going to start falling away soon.
We've got, what, 3 more laps on these tyres, including the one we're on, so that's okay for tyre grip. Lewis Hamilton having a little look at us up the hill. Just give him the space. It's not really worth trying to battle Lewis Hamilton too much. We could actually use him to propel us forward a little bit here. Carlos Sainz is another one. There's not a lot of point in fighting him because we're not quicker. You know, Hamilton's proved that. We're not quicker than him. The problem is Hamilton's not got within a second of Norris, so he needs to book up his ideas a little bit. We've got DRS enabled. Some people are in the pit lane already, so we have got potentially Undercut City coming.
Okay, that puts you in 5th, P5.
That puts us up to 5th at the moment, and if there was a red flag or something, that would put us into prime position for this amount of points, which would be absolutely awesome. We are losing a little bit of tyre grip now. Struggling to stay within a second of Lewis Hamilton. Meanwhile, Lance Stroll's starting to come back into things because he's on the hard tyres, of course, so his tyres will be some of the best in the field right now, other than those that haven't come into the pits, so that's why he's now able to find a little bit of pace. He's now getting within a second of Lando Norris, and that's going to help us climb towards him because we'll both have DRS. Yeah, that's why we're managing to stay ahead of Carlos Sainz, because he's got rough tyres as well. But there we go. Lewis Hamilton and Lando Norris into the pit lane.
Box, we're coming in this lap.
So now we are the last person out there, other than Sergio Perez, that hasn't come into the pits. So now we need to give it our absolute best in-lap possible. Extract everything we can from these tyres. Pop on those soft tyres, and we are going to be in with a chance of a really strong points finish here. Pierre Gasly's out. Is that going to bring out a safety car? I don't know, but we are into the pit lane. Here we go. A real chance to make the most of this. Wasn't our best pit stop, but
okay, let's
go
away
now. Nicely. 2.7 seconds.
There, mate. We're satisfied with that.
I don't think anything's going to happen with Pierre Gasly. There goes Verstappen. And here comes Sainz and Lewis Hamilton and Lando Norris.
Our last stop. No more scheduled pit stops. Let's go.
Can we come out in front of Norris? I think we can. I think Stroll has as well, actually. So that is absolutely massive for this Grand Prix. But Carlos Sainz is the biggest winner in all of that. Big undercut for him, but now we're on soft tyres, and I would say a real chance to get past Lewis Hamilton, because he's on the hard tyres from now until the end of the race. But how long will these softs last? That's the question. Well, up ahead you can see Lewis Hamilton and Carlos Sainz battling it out. Looks like Lewis has got him quite easily in the end there. Obviously, second place man in the championship right now is Lewis Hamilton. But Carlos Sainz doing a good job as well on his tyres. And surely you would think he's going to be quicker than Lewis overall, but who knows? Meanwhile, we are pulling away from the two Aston Martin cars and keeping the gap to the guys in front, but I think their ultimate car pace is starting to show now. And even with a massive tyre differential, we're not able to make this work really in terms of overtaking them, but it's okay. We're still having fun and still pumping in good times and, you know, beginning to get to within a second, but by the time we do, I feel like our tyres are going to be done in terms of fast times at least. So 1.2 seconds the gap. So it's going to be our quickest time so far. It's not quite, but Carlos Sainz again having a little look at Lewis Hamilton, and I think Hamilton's going to stick it in there at turn one. There could be contact between them. but no, I don't think so. I think they're okay. But because they're DRSing, it's taking them away from us. That's the problem. And we gain all the time in the lap, and then
0.7 seconds.
Right at the end, they've got DRS, so they pull away from us. It's as simple as that, really. But we're still doing well. 7th place at the moment. It's about concentrating and keeping the car in a straight line and wrapping up our 3rd consecutive points finish. Well, we've got Lewis and Carlos still fighting it out front. Still no contact between them. They've managed to pull away from us the last couple of laps, and Alonso and Stroll are starting to close in now, but we've got a 2-second gap here. We should be okay. 3 laps to go. Just need to make sure that we don't do anything stupid like we just did there, catching the curb on the inside, upsetting the balance of the car, and now you can see 1.8 seconds is the gap. As long as that doesn't come below a second, we should be okay hanging on to the 7th position, but the tyre's definitely starting to drop off now. Here we come then, on to the final lap of this Grand Prix.
Final lap, push.
Honestly, it's gone by in a flash. It has been a really entertaining race. Sainz has just got past Hamilton, it would appear. They are side by side. It looks like Sainz has managed to come out in front, but Hamilton right behind him, and I think that's going to go all the way to the final corner, probably up the hill. Hamilton's made a bit of a habit of making the overtake stick up the hill, but yeah, this has been a really entertaining Grand Prix. Obviously 7th place flatters us a little bit, but I think, you know, that first stint was brilliant. We managed to, you know, have really good hard racing, managed to get past our teammate, and it was a little bit of a mixed up grid. Hamilton meanwhile doesn't manage to get past Carlos Sainz, but they are definitely starting to be closed in by us as Sergio Perez wins his first race of the season for Red Bull. He's absolutely dominated, and Russell is going to finish 2nd as Max Verstappen once again fails to finish on the podium. Who's going to win out of Sainz and Hamilton? Looks like Sainz has got it, and we come over the line in 7th place. That's a terrific result for us. 6 points in the bag once again.
And that's the end of the race. We'll see you in Parc Fermé.
Brilliant stuff from Red Bull today. What a superb victory. And talk to me. What do you think it was that sealed the win for them?
I feel like consistency was probably the key today. There's being quick, and then there's being quick lap after lap after lap. If you can do that, you can capitalise on other people's errors without making many of your own. And that's an approach that can push you a long way up the field.
Red Bull put up an outstanding fight for the front position today, and it's great to see it paid off for them. They do so much for the sport that you can't help but be delighted by today's race win.
Okay. Right then.
So let's review the updated driver standings. Our championship leader is still sat at the top of the standings, but their rivals have made up some solid ground today. Some amazing talent out on the track today. But Anthony, who would you pick as your driver of the day?
Max Verstappen seemed to just effortlessly weave through the other drivers today without a care in the world. He was definitely my driver of choice.
It's time to see how things are shaping up in the Constructors' Championship. And pulling further ahead in the standings, it's Red Bull. It's been an absolutely wild weekend of Formula One action, and I can't wait to see what's next.
Well, there you have it then. Good result for us. Sergio Perez now within 5 points of Max Verstappen after 6 rounds. Absolutely brilliant for him. Lewis Hamilton within 22 as well. Charles Leclerc, George Russell, Carlos Sainz all still in the championship picture, you would say. Alonso a comfortable 7th at the moment, almost double the points of his teammate Lance Stroll. Lando Norris, Gasly and ourselves look to be the battle for top 10 in the championship and possibly best of the rest, which this year will be 9th, you would imagine. Red Bull leading the way in the Constructors. We are comfortably 7th at the moment, and hopefully we can compete with McLaren for 6th place come the end of the season. Shame for Valtteri Bottas. He doesn't manage to get into the points for the first time this season, but certainly seen the people that went a little bit longer in this race were the ones that benefited. Perez, of course, was the last to pit, and and then getting out of that traffic early on, that really helped our race, and we managed to stay fairly close to Lewis Hamilton and Carlos Sainz in the end, and yeah, really happy with that. Just clicking on these to make sure they're saved, because sometimes they get a little bit weird. I want to see that first turn again though. Let's have a little look as we had lights out, of course. Perez off to a great start. Verstappen again very slow from the start. We took that inside line and it was pretty intense going into this corner. We had to back out of it just a little bit, but managed to stay with everybody. Obviously lap 3 we had you could see there was the contact between Piastri and Stroll, and then we managed to do the old switcheroo. This is where we got really close to Lance Stroll, and that could have been the end of our race there. It was poor driving from Lance Stroll, but we managed to just about avoid contact with Oscar Piastri. That was a key move in this Grand Prix, wasn't it? It really was. And I think, did Hamilton try up the hill here? Was this where Hamilton tried it against Bottas? I think he did. Look at this. And yeah, just not good enough there. And you can see how we just slide our way through those corners, take it so much more aggressively. And then we had so much more momentum than Lewis Hamilton. But this was pretty intense as well, coming down into this corner here. And a little bit of contact potentially on the way through there, but that was another key move in this Grand Prix, because that allowed us a chance to get right behind Valtteri Bottas in this Grand Prix. But it was really exciting. I really enjoyed it, and I hope you guys did too. If you did, give it a big thumbs up down below, subscribe for plenty more F1 content, and I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.